Think that we are now on. Yes, we are on. Okay, okay, welcome. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Yes, so now we are live on, let me tell you, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, so it's a couple of more apps like Candy Crush that we cannot go live on, so just leave it. But yeah, today we are going to continue the trauma talk with my fantastic young colleague friends, Dr. Wei Pin and Dr. Gloria. I am so happy, pleased to have these two young doctors today with me. We decided last week to continue that talk about safety, about trauma, and today we're going to talk about traffic injuries, which is probably the most important part of trauma, at least physical trauma. Dr. Weipin, Dr. Gloria, thank you for joining me today. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Would you please start introducing yourself?
Right. My name is Gloria Shani. I am a sixth-year medical student at the University of Nairobi in Kenya. And I'm also the advocacy director for Incision Global, a student network representing more than 5,000 students and trainees. And we advocate for global surgery when needed, whoever needs it. That should be quality and safe. And so road traffic incidents or injuries is a pertinent issue when it comes to global surgery. So thank you so much for having us, Dr. Iman.
Okay, thank you for
And
joining.
my name is Wei Pin. I'm a medical junior doctor from Malaysia and aspiring surgeons and also part of the incision and from Malaysia as well. Yep. It's a pleasure to be here and thanks for having us.
Thank you both to be here. I know that you are on different time zones: Malaysia, Kenya, Toronto. Yeah, I know. So, what time is it there in Malaysia, Dr. Weep?
It's about 12 a.m.
12 a.m.
Yeah.
Good morning. What about Dr. Gloria?
Good morning.
What about Kenya?
It's 7:30 p.m.
7:30 p.m. So you're the lucky one. But yeah, so before we continue, I just wanted to say that this Incision Global, it's an organization for young doctors and who are passionate about surgery, about trauma, to prevent and broadcast anything about trauma and surgery, and to be prevent uh, things that are literally killing people around the world and is preventable. Okay, so let's start, Dr. Gloria, please. Why traffic injuries are important?
Yes, so traffic injuries are very important because they actually cause 1.3 million deaths every year globally. And when it comes to non-fatal injuries, the cost to countries around the world is about 20 to 50 million. And the thing about road traffic injuries is that it's preventable, and that's why it's important for us to talk about it today. That it claims the lives of so many people. In fact, when you look at the statistics, road traffic injuries kill more than HIV/AIDS and tuberculosis. So it's quite serious that so many people lose their lives of something that is actually preventable. And just to bring it to perspective, there's so many people who we know have lost their lives, including famous celebrities. Um, just to show a few that you would resonate with, including the late Princess Diana, who actually died in Paris, France, as a result of a road traffic injury. And she sustained a lot of chest injuries that ultimately led her death. We have others who have passed on, famous actors. Um, Others passed on, others managed to survive. But it's really sad that a lot of them are actually young people. So between the age of 5 to 29 years, those are the ones who die the most. of these actors, someone like Princess Diana was only 36 years old. I'm trying to project. I don't know if you are able to see my slide. So as some of you may know from Paul Walker, who actually passed on to a road traffic injury, and recently had his daughter, Mabel Walker, was having a wedding, and Vin Diesel was also a co-star, walked her down the aisle. He was really young when he passed on. We could mention so many. Kevin Hart is one of them. Luckily did not pass on, but he had a grisly road accident that he sustained a lot of spine injuries, cost him so much that afterwards started advocating for road safety, and his life basically just changed after that. So any one of us could be affected by road traffic injury. It is common but very costly. Therefore, we should prevent it.
Mm-hmm. So it kills 1.3 million people every year around the world.
Yeah.
Almost all of them are young people. People, at least they can drive a car or sit. It's not sick or people who are not productive. They are in their productive age, and
unfortunately.
And sadly, this one, I don't know. It has no exception. Like, it's if you're the princess, you're the king, you are the actor, actress, like anything, anywhere, it's there. And maybe this is the one of the, let's say, reasons, like cause of death, that has no socioeconomic level, right? Okay. So, and so, and what can we do for that?
Okay, so allow me to add on furthermore from the point of Gloria's.
Mm-hmm.
And in Malaysia, back in the COVID pandemic, we're still having some movement restrictions. And in Malaysia, during the movement restrictions or the road traffic accidents is actually causing more mortality compared to the COVID-19. That is something interesting. And we doesn't seem to have appropriate and also proportionate attention to road traffic accident, although it causing life throughout, since ever the car's been invented. And I think itself can say it is a pandemic itself, but without much address from our side. So I think that's the reason why we should talk about it more frequent. And why healthcare professionals should talk about this, because we see all the end product coming in without being prevented. Mm. Those are the causes that are easily preventable, but we still haven't sorted out. If COVID-19 ever have a vaccine, and I think there's a lot more that we can do for the road traffic accident.
Yeah.
Hence we should talk about why we have a road traffic accident happen and how we can prevent it. So like just now when we say that all the statistics is pinpointed, the drivers at fault, the pedestrians at fault, sometimes the unsafe environment like a pothole and also a poor road design can causing us, and also sometimes the unsafe vehicle can bring us to traffic accident.
Well, I love what you said about COVID-19. And so when, as a healthcare professionals, we see life and death every day, and we see that like outcome of all this traffic accidents. Of course, we can feel it. We know what are we talking about. But this COVID perhaps had like many negative points. But one thing is that death is something now more, let's say, understandable. People can see, like they can relate on what we're talking about. What are the numbers like? And we can. So if there is a COVID that is there is a chance to be infected, and there's a chance to be, to kill you, and you do everything. You wash your hand, you keep your distance, you shut down the country, you just put the mask on. No socializing, no nothing, because there is a small chance of death. And now we're talking about something extremely more dangerous and real, and it's been there every day, all day. And so now we can see, okay, so if the purpose and the goal of all this stuff is to save lives. So let's save life this way too. I think that is the that must be the reason. Okay, I got a call. Sorry about that. Yeah. So please let us know how we can. Okay, sorry. So let us know how we can prevent it. What is the vaccine for traffic injuries?
Right. So, Laura, you go.
Prevention for road traffic accidents. First, as Bettina said, understanding the cause of the road traffic incident will help us understand how to prevent it. So when it comes to the major reason as to why a lot of the road traffic injuries occur is actually because of driver's fault. So one of them being overspeeding. So that comes to laws and also discipline when it comes to obeying the limits, the speed limits for a specific route. Not overspeeding will save so many lives. In fact, like the examples I've given of the mortalities, of the deaths by some of these celebrities, the reason behind it was actually overspeeding. So just maintaining the speed limit will prevent a road traffic incident from occurring. When it comes again to driving under the influence, be it alcohol or any other psychoactive agents, just avoiding drinking than driving, So it reduces one's judgment. So laws again and personal initiative to avoid drinking than driving will save a lot of lives. Also, when it comes to full concentration on the road, so avoiding use of phone, so texting while driving removes the attention of the driver from the road, easily can hit a pedestrian or smash another car. So avoiding use of phones while driving would save a lot of lives. Yeah. Pepin, you have what to add on this?
So it means that it's all about drivers, and I believe you had a beautiful slide about the percentage of the causes. If you can see that, maybe that is more.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So as I said, the biggest cause of road traffic injuries is actually road driver faults. So as I said, overspeeding, driving under influence, using mobile phone, texting while driving. The other major cause is actually pedestrian faults. So crossing the road while the traffic light is red, not observing, looking left and right again before crossing the road. Another major cause of road injuries is actually poor roads, so infrastructure, potholes. Sometimes, especially in the low and middle income countries, and Dr. Iman, I must say at this point that majority of the deaths, the 1.3 million deaths that happen globally because of road traffic injuries, 90% of them actually occur in low and middle income countries, and specifically Africa. And one of the reasons is actually poor infrastructure. So potholes, it's a major cause of road traffic injuries. A few years back, I have a friend who lost their parents because of an incident on the road, and the crash was actually due to a pothole, sadly. So having countries actually taking this seriously, especially low and middle income countries, policies, and actualizing these policies on the ground to implement good infrastructure and roads, for the people would prevent a good number of accidents and incidents that happen on the road. Yeah.
But so
unsafe vehicles,
as you said, so let's just what I hear is 61% is driver's fault, or let's say driver's part. 14% is pedestrians' part. It's like 75%. Poor roads, of course, in low socioeconomy or low income countries, of course. So it's not like we know that there are highways in Germany, you can go as fast as you want. So the road safety is beyond maximum, something extremely high. But unsafe vehicles and poor road let's say safety is almost 25%. if you are driving in a country that you know that the road safety is not as much as like Germany highway, so just better be careful. This is the part that you can take instead of like it. There are like I'm not sure about the name, but there are roads and like Chile or Argentina, or there's like so tiny, so narrow roads that so it's the road is not standard for sure, but so when you know actually where you're going and what is the road condition, you can prevent the damage. Is it right?
Yeah, that's right, Dr. Iman. And it's true that in as much as high income countries may have good infrastructure, so this 75% would play a very big role no matter where you are, whether you're in a high income country or LMIC, a very big percentage of the deaths or even injuries and disability, economic impacts that it has on individuals and countries as well be reduced by a very big amount. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's very important for each and every one of us to take this very seriously.
Okay. Okay.
And allow me to add on.
Please.
Okay, so stay with this slide. As you can see, the driver fault and also pedestrian faults comprise of 75%. We all can agree that this is something being caused by a human factor. And only we can address the human factor correctly, and we can bring down the road traffic accident. And this seems like a very doable and also preventable actions. And if you look further to the unsafe vehicle, it's also something we can do. It's something we can improve from our side as the drivers, as the pedestrians, as human. So I think I actually quite optimistic about how we can actually prevent road traffic accident, because the action is actually quite doable.
Mm-hmm. And
also talking about the portrait.
So yes, I know that you and your team have done like outstanding job with human factor in Malaysia. I want you to talk about it, of course, and give us some applicable, something practical. So what can we do to, what is this doable actions, the best thing that you can just mention, please?
All right, so back in Malaysia, we are trying to incentive our user to correctly to use the road in a respectful and also legal behavior. And we have actually driving mark, which is we are trying to analyze how road users behave on road, and all the markers have been recorded through our applications, and we incentive those we have a good marks through car insurance, the fuel, and also some merchandise, and also some merits. And that actually help us to improve, and also at least to stay for our user to be more road friendly. And yeah, that's just something we're trying to do in Malaysia. But yeah, let's talk about what kind of thing we can do to prevent road traffic accidents. Just now we talked about speeding, we talked about distracted driving, not driving under influence. I think a lot of things we still haven't been addressed, like how we can improve the drivers on road is poor sleeping. Some micro sleep can actually causing accident as well. This seems doesn't being addressed much on the narrative, and also how we can improve our vehicles, safe belt, airbags, and those kind of things, and also having a speed bump on the car. Those kind of things is actually helpful, and which seems to be neglected by our road user. So, and also utilizing the road sign, and also utilizing the crossroad, and make sure those are in conditions. And if there is any in fault, we can always advocate to improve it. And we are less powerless when it comes to road traffic accident, because we have all the weapons that we need to battle, to combat with this. So this is how I see it.
So we can let's just name what you just talked about in maybe 4 or 5 bullet points. So the first thing is to, let's say, to have the safety measures like seatbelt, helmet, or make sure that your car is in a good shape if you want to like make, if you're going to drive, especially like in the roads, it's like out of the cities and
Yeah.
stuff, road trips and it's things like, especially now and then many like in north hemisphere, it's winter. It's like gonna like we're gonna have a lot of like raining and snow in Canada, of course. So car safety, to make sure your car is on the in a good shape. You have your seatbelt uh, click, as they say, and your helmet. Not of course in the car, helmet for motorcycles. So this is the safety measures for the vehicle. And there are some safety measures for drivers, as you mentioned, like sleeping. You like don't or driving under influence, which is of course alcohol, drugs, or anything else. That is some other topic for safety. We can talk about it. We will definitely talk about that part of safety. But at least if you are under influence, do not drive or do not actually work in any kind of like mechanical instrument that might be harmful, especially cars. And like cars are actually weapons at some point. But and it's not just under influence of alcohol and drug. And this is the part that I am so interested in. To I want us to notice that one too. Like if you have an argument, if you are angry with someone, if you're sad, if you're like whatever, if you had a like an emotional trauma as well, don't drive. Stop. Just give yourself time to calm and get back, because like there are people who are angry. They might harm themselves or others, and this is actually a really common case as well. What did you think about that? What is the emotional part of the traffic injury?
Well, I think that can safely categorize under the influence as well, but it's kind of emotional influence where people are starting to react impulsively and also irrational. And yeah, that's definitely causing the road safety. Definitely will be jeopardizing the safety for other road user.
Mhm.
Yep. And
Yeah, I do agree that emotional instability can actually be a cause of poor judgment on the road, and emotional instability would actually necessitate a driver to give another driver to drive at that particular point in time. And it comes in many forms, yeah. Sometimes something as simple as you receive an emergency call, you know, and all of a sudden you're anxious about, rushing to get to where you need to go. You're at that point, it's not a rational decision to drive that fast, but because, emotionally very unsettled, as well as when you're really angry and so mad and you feel like having road rage. If you live in a low and middle income country, you must be aware of the traffic, uh, high traffic that's usually there. People can get infuriated on the road very seriously, and road rage is a big thing. So I think at that point, just maintaining some healthy emotional habits, and if one cannot be able to drive, I think giving it to someone else, the car to someone else to drive them would,
Mhm. I actually had
be
this exact
beneficial.
same case during my practice, that like someone had like a heart attack and they tried to bring him to hospital. They had a car accident. The driver who caused the accident, unfortunately he died, but the one with the heart attack, he survived. So this is like, imagine how sad is that. So you try to help someone, but if because you are under pressure and, as you said, like under tension and stress, you cause even more damage. Sometimes doing nothing is better than trying to fix things. Yeah, so thank you so much. So what else do you think we can wrap up with?
I think to wrap it up would be to identify that you and I can prevent road traffic injuries. And how we can prevent road traffic injuries is very simple. Observe the road traffic rules, buckle that seatbelt, wear a helmet when you're on a motorcycle, with child safety, locks included, to prevent injuries, because children are they don't know, sometimes they can open doors when the car is moving. Um, Overspeeding, not driving under the influence. Very simple things may look very simple, but at the end of the day, we saw 75% of death, is actually because of can be controlled really, whether or not you're in a high income country or in a low income country. Further than that, we would be talking about policies about what countries would do to reduce road traffic injuries. But at the end of the day, you and I play a very big part.
Mhm. Absolutely.
I think from me, it's just to recognize that every year user has other family that waiting them to be home, and only you recognizing that all of your agenda will be less urgent in that sense, compared to our life or our other user. We can only be safe if we are all safe.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, so 75% of 1.3 million deaths every year is directly through human, not error, but maybe human part, and this is like the preventable. It's me, you, and all of us. This is something that definitely we can do something about. Of course, 1.3 million is a big number, but even one life matters. So please pay more attention about like on all of this stuff. And let's say this is a hand washing, this is your mask, this is your vaccine. This is something that you can save life. If you can save life in any way possible, why not? And I want to ask you all that watching us today, if anything that you heard today, of course, this is something that we all know, but yeah, that was maybe a reminder. And if you apply any of these in your life today, tomorrow, wherever you are angry or you forgot your helmet, you go back and get your helmet, or you just make a short video and send it to me. I will definitely post it to let's spread the positive message. Why not? So if like this is our call to action, if you do, of course you will make an action on road traffic accident prevention. Make a short video, like maybe a couple of seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and send it to me. You can send it on my inbox here, or my email at contact@driman.com or iman@driman.com. You can send the email to me, and I will definitely post it online. My dear doctors, colleagues, friends, thank you for joining me today. It was my pleasure to talk to you, and hopefully we'll have this talk next week. We will continue with more of Incision Team.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Small
Thank you.
action matter. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.